I figured you out, as I've been sitting in the back row for far too long.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer Glatzhofer, but you can call me Jen, and I'm in a slightly different setup because I have a very special guest here on the channel. Hello, Ian.
Hi everyone.
I recently released a debut album. If you didn't know, it was called Ecco. It was released on the 30th of May, you can see it behind me, and it was co-written with Ian. So I thought today we'll spend some time talking about the album, answering some questions that I received over on Patreon and Instagram and all the social media, and just talk about the album. The first single that we released was I'm Not a Fan, which was like 2-3 years ago, and then we released Voice of My Own 2 years ago. Then we released Voice of My Own, and a few other singles came after that, but now 9 original tracks are on the album Ecco, which you can purchase as a vinyl or digital download on my Bandcamp. I have left the links in the description below. But otherwise, please do go and stream it on Spotify and all the major streaming platforms. But anyway, let's get to the first question. So, how are you feeling?
It feels like it feels strange because it's been kind of finished for a long time. So to now have it out, feels good.
Yeah, it feels like, because we got it mixed and mastered, was it last September?
Mixing September, mastered shortly after that.
October, November.
But yeah, it was all finished well before Christmas.
Yeah, so we released some singles, and then it was just waiting for the debut release, for the release of the debut album.
And waiting for the vinyls to be pressed.
That was exciting. That was really cool. Like, I remember opening it and then thinking like, it's here. And we listened to, because we got 5 test presses, and then we listened to them. Yeah, that was it.
Not for me, no. Because I think out of the ones that we wrote together, we already kind of picked the best ones.
Some weeks we were more on a roll in terms of we were writing more and we just had more ideas. And then some we obviously progressed further that then made it on the album, but all the ones that have made it onto the album we kind of knew from the beginning.
Yeah.
It felt like they were the ones that fit with the story, fit with the album.
Yeah.
This question is directly to you, by the way.
That was a daily thing, but no. No. I think that because we like very similar music, we've got a very, very similar taste in music. 99% of what Jen did was what I wanted to hear, even though I didn't know where it was coming.
Even when I made no sense?
Possibly.
You were like, I have no clue what you're talking about. But yeah, I think because you're very good at like picking out what I was trying to say, because I'm not very good at kind of,
yeah,
you know.
it's always an editing job, I think, from somebody else's perspective. So I would create ideas and things, chord sequences and things to go with your melodies.
Yeah.
And it's your job to edit what I do.
Yeah.
Because you've got a perspective on that, which is like fresh perspective. And it's my job to edit what you do as well. So I pick out the best things that, you know, or the things that I like, and, you know, maybe the things I don't like, maybe get you to steer in a different direction.
Yeah, it's kind of like a back and forward, and it's sometimes you can go far with an idea and then actually it kind of stops, and then you kind of go, let's go back to this, and then we'll kind of go on to that journey. And it's just about kind of, sometimes it can be quite hard because it's like a personal thing and you don't want it to be like, oh my gosh, I did something wrong. But, you know, luckily there's lots of respect there.
Yeah.
And we know we just want to get the best out of the songs. So I'm glad to hear that there wasn't too many wacky ideas.
No one I'd rather talk to about the things I want.
For me, I'm just trying to think about, obviously I've got to go back.
I know, it seems like a long time ago, I can't remember.
Back to what the processes were for all of them. But no, I don't think so. I think they're all fairly straightforward-ish. I think probably the only one was Love Found Me. Simply because of the rhythm, the differences in the rhythms from the verse to the chorus.
Yeah.
Changes quite drastically.
It does.
But no, it didn't present too much of a problem.
I think for me, I think Last One on Your Mind was the one that went on the biggest journey, because remember, right at the very beginning, I wanted it to be, I think we had just done the cover of What Was I Made For, the Billie Eilish one. And that's when I came up with this really breathy lead vocal, and I was like, oh yeah, ballad. And it was pretty much the same sort of lyrics that then ended up being on Last One on Your Mind, but it was completely different. And remember, we kind of went then the complete opposite and made it quite like dancey.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think you gave me it, and I think you mentioned that you wanted it as a ballad, but I think I completely forgot. And then just ploughed ahead with how I heard it anyway.
That's fair. Well, I'm glad that you forgot, because I much prefer what we came up with. I think it's one of my favourite ones now anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say that about everyone. So.
So that was basic, initially a basic bluesy kind of guitar riff. And what happened there? Obviously I must have been, was I playing it to you? Did I send it to you?
It was a voice recording that you sent.
It was a voice recording, okay.
And it was just a dong, 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 like on the guitar that you kind of played around.
Yes, and you give me a verse, an idea for the verse. And then the next process was, I didn't want it to stay too much in the blues kind of realm. I wanted it to get a little bit more harmonically interesting, let's put it that way. That was the process.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, like so many of the songs, they all started quite differently, I think. That we didn't stick to one kind of process on the songs. Some started with like a guitar riff or a chord progression from you. Some started with like a title, like Moment With You? No, Last One on Your Mind was just the title, and then you came up with the kind of, what kind of chord progression around that.
And some were vocal lines that you had.
Yeah. And
just melodies.
And really basic piano things, and you were like, let's spice it up. But with I Should Have Known, there were several. We always were throwing ideas around, and then that one night, I just remember sitting down, and I was like, okay. It was in my head because I'd listened to them, and I just started scribbling and writing. I remember, I think I sent you a really rough demo of your guitar track with me just singing in the mic. I think it was probably like a little bit different. It wasn't what we have like now. And you were like, yes. Well, that's why I read your message. It probably was just like, yes, full stop. And I was like, yeah, he likes it.
Okay.
Okay, it's good. I guess.
Jen, that's a question for you, because I had no hand in that round.
Yeah, I know. You just went.
I just went, okay.
The order of the songs, I kind of wanted it to follow, because they don't really follow a certain chronological pattern, and I also didn't want it to be released like how they were written. Like Sign, I think, was one of the earliest ones I gave to you, and that was actually me on the piano with a vocal line. I remember sat at the bar and I showed you it. And I was really scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I think it was like one of the first ones. But it's the last one on the album, so I didn't want to follow that kind of order, but they follow kind of, the songs all follow a moving on chapter and finding who I am sort of thing. So I guess it follows that sort of story of, and the overall message of all the songs is kind of a positive underline. So the order of the songs, I wanted to start with Voice of My Own because I knew it was a song that people knew. So they instantly felt like, yeah, I know it. And then we kind of drip in something new, then something that they know again, something new, and kind of keep it exciting with not too many like slower songs together. Something like a bit mixed so it kind of goes on a bit of a journey. But otherwise it's not really too much of a storyline, I guess. This question comes up a lot because we've had so many messages.
Yeah, I think vinyl is growing again. It definitely is. So I think it was important to get onto vinyl at the very least. There's lots of people who are asking for CDs, but not enough, I don't think.
I feel like, yeah, a lot of people did, but it's also, you know, this is something that we, as independent artists, we're putting a lot of art, and we had so many wonderful supporters on GoFundMe, so thank you so much to those who did support
yes, thank you.
there, because we couldn't have done it with that support. But yeah, like we knew we wanted to release something as a physical copy, and these are pretty cool. Like the vinyls are really cool, so.
Well, I think the thing with vinyl, from my point of view, is it's never going to sound better than on vinyl. Because
that's the top quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best sonic representation. Until we play them live, of course.
Of course.
Tell me once again, I need your voice again. No shoes.
Again, we kind of already touched this, I guess, a little bit, but well, with me, it can be something that's happened on that day, and then I've kind of written about it, and then it's progressed into a song. Or it could be just something I hear on TV. That actually happens a lot. I remember a couple Christmases ago, you told me to watch Nashville. I mean, that's full of music. But there were certain things that people were saying, and I was just writing things down that sounded nice. Not the songs, obviously, don't copyright, but what people were talking about. And like something that sometimes that you never know when that's going to happen. So I like having like a notebook or something around just to scribble things down. But how do ideas come for you? How does that?
Just noodling around on the guitar, normally the guitar. Yeah, just noodling around thinking that's kind of cool. And then I would send you a little recording done on the phone. And then it would go from there.
Yeah.
From the ideas that I would initially bring.
Yeah.
And then the opposite would be you would have. Did you do any where you just give me some lyrics?
No, I think it was always with apart from the title. That's the only one. Last on your mind was just like no melody around it. But otherwise, I get carried away and I start like going, and I find it hard unless it's like a one phrase that doesn't have a melody to it when I've written it down. Otherwise, everything will have a melody because I'm kind of thinking like, finally, like that's already in my head and now that's stuck. Do you know, like, and then it's kind of matched with the melody. So that's my way. I'm gonna let you answer this first, Mr. Lyric Man.
So, confession 101. I don't pay too much attention to the lyrics. I never have the songs ever in my life.
Oh, I just smashed my mic.
I just broke the mic.
I was meant to go shot through the heart.
Never have. Still not that bothered about lyrics, really.
Blows my mind.
It's always been about the music and the emotion that goes through the music. So I'm trying to think of, there is lots of good lyrics that I've heard within the album that I think are really good.
Do you want to look at the lyric sheets? No, it's fine. Actually, if you get yourself a vinyl, you get yourself a lyric sheet. Ooh!
I've never looked at it.
God, have a look. Just have a look while I'll answer.
It looks great.
It looks great. I love
it's
pictures.
really good. That one's really good.
That one's really good, thanks. Oh yeah, you need your glasses. You can't see. They're so tiny as well.
I know.
Let me have a look, actually, that might help me. I can't remember my own lyrics. Yeah, I mean, there's a few lyrics that stand out. I like, this is one of the things why I like working with you though, because you are so musically inspired, or just focus on that more. Sometimes it can be like, no, I want it to complement the lyrics. Listen to the lyrics because it's going this way. But sometimes it's nice because it gets a different perspective, and actually it's like an underlining emotion to what the lyrics are saying. So even though, so it's not as obvious, and I love things that are not obvious musically, because then you're always interested. So I think that's why we work really well, because I do like focusing on the lyrics and the story, but I want it to match and work well with what's happening musically. So that's really fun. I think there's like certain, obviously I'm going to say I'm proud of all my lyrics because I love them, but I think one of the ones that really stick out to me is in Sign, the one, let one of these doors fit the key where I should be, because it's normally like which key fits the door, and I'm making the key me and the door where I'm supposed to be. So by flipping it around and kind of saying like, let one of these doors fit the key to where I should be, I kind of wanted to focus on the point where I wanted to focus on the fact that like you shouldn't change who you are just to fit into something. You know, you are unique and special as is. The world will, there's a space for you, you just need to kind of find that. That's why I like that, and that's the whole point of Sign anyway. And plus, I really liked. I'm just going to talk about my lyrics. Oh yeah, it was in Sweet Summer Air. It takes a while for my mind to come around, I'm not mistaken. I loved how that lyrically fit in with the music and the melody. Like, I felt like that really worked. Anyway, go check it out, I like it.
Who thought of that, Jen?
You did. I cannot take credit. I was thinking a lot about different titles, and you were like, what the heck, Jen? That's what you should have answered. Was there anything, hold on, a few questions ago, was there anything that you went, are you kidding? It was probably the title, the most thing, because I'm not very good at titles. Although having said that, you made some fun titles for some of the tracks that we did. What was I should have known in your notes? That's
Bathrobe Blues.
Which works too, but it's because you thought the lyric, again, going back to the lyrics was...
Sitting in my bathrobe for far too long.
Which again, could have worked. But yeah, then we were and ahhing, and then you said, how about a word?
Just a word, just one word.
But like something Italian as well? Or did you?
No, I was just trying to think of a word, because I'm trying to think of one that you thought of, but it was too obvious.
It was like time.
Yeah, it was really kind of predictable and too obvious.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, because I've been learning Italian for about the past year, Jennifer's half Italian. I don't know if I learnt that word that day or the day before or after, but I thought Ecco was a good
and it works
word because it's short.
Yeah.
It's got a double connotation in that people go, you spelled Ecco wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that from the start.
And then I said it to my grandparents, and like my nonna's face lit up, and I was like, okay, fine. And I messaged you, I was like, it's Ecco. We've sold on Ecco.
So, it's available on vinyl.
On the beautiful vinyl and digital download over on my Bandcamp.
It's available to stream on many streaming services, of which I probably only know one.
Spotify. But yeah, it's available everywhere. And if you hopefully, if you want to support, please do go and check it out on Bandcamp, because that'll be wonderful.
So the first thing is we would kind of have a little bit of a rough demo to hear how it's going, and then we would kind of progress that in if we like the song and make it into a full-on recording. The recordings were all done at my house, predominantly, and then we had to get drums done by the fantastic David Lowry. It was superb throughout, and then it was a case of getting it mixed, and then we got it mastered.
Yeah.
It's really difficult for us to do everything, because we literally do everything ourselves, and the production takes so long, because as soon as this comes out, it's on the shelves it's out in the marketplace with everything, with music that's been recorded at Abbey Road and Sunset Sound and places like that, where the price of one microphone is more than our entire equipment put together, and to compete with that is really difficult.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for people to understand that. So, and then with the GoFundMe, we were able to spend money on the mixing, which is an important part of it, like just as important as the recording, and then the mastering as well, to get it as close sonically as everything else that's out in the marketplace.
Yeah, there were so many times where we got a mix back and we were playing it with something that was already out on Spotify just to make sure it kind of, the overall sound kind of felt the same or as close as it could be with what we had.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a really great job, and the people that we've have worked with, like mixing, mastering, Dave Archer as well, like it's just all really come together. Like it's really, you know, we've done the best that we can with what we have, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm very proud. I think the difficult thing is now that everything's finished, it's the promotional side, isn't it? Everything else. Because it's the one thing that we can control, isn't it? We can control the recording.
Yes.
And everything else, but we can't really control how much it gets out to everyone. We can only do what we can.
Yeah, and we're going to continue doing what we can, but it's also now just because it's out there, there are so many other factors that it's just out of our control, and it's up to people to keep sharing and streaming and adding
absolutely.
it. So please listen.
Please share.
I mean, I love writing with you. We had, like I said a few questions ago, answers ago, there were many more songs that didn't make it or we could progress further with. So either we look back at them, and if that's that, then we'll keep them there, or we continue with the ideas that are fresh now and kind of continue with those. We don't know.
I think we will, but it took us a long time to do what we've done.
Yeah.
We didn't put ourselves under any pressure by saying it has to be done by a certain amount of time. And I think that's the way that we will do the next one as well. So I would like to do it again, but obviously we just need to first of all live with this one for a while and promote it as best we can. Yeah,
live in this
and enjoy it, and then slowly.
We've got plans, don't worry. Well, I just want to say thank you to you as well, because I came up, you know, I came with some ideas and I didn't know where to go with them, and you very much were on board and very much excited. So I'm 100% looking forward to future projects, future songs that we write together, and I wouldn't want to write with anyone else, so you stuck with me. I thought you were going to leave me hanging then. I was like, rude. So here's to more songs, more projects in the future. But for now, Ecco, it's yours. Go and listen to it. Go and stream it. Share it with friends and family. Music videos are out as well. And, you know, we might continue making or putting together songs from this album in different forms for you. So keep an eye out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to Ian for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, interact.
And join me on Patreon.
Bye.
Bye, stream. Thank you so much. I will catch you soon. Bye.
Ciao.